There we go. So, welcome. This is A Course of Love book group. The Course of Love written by Perron, first receiver. And tonight we are on page, let me see, 247. It's called Chapter 2, To Hear the Call. We are first in tonight, so I will go ahead and begin the reading. And at any point, if anyone would like to read, just stop me, it's fine with me. Let me know. Chapter 2, To Hear the Call. Why would we begin a treatise on unity by talking of treasure? To pave the way for talking of calling. What is it in you that recognizes talents that lie fully realized within? The practical mind is not the source of such imagination. The practical mind makes of imagination a fantasy. It is the heart that sees with true imagination, and the heart that speaks to you in terms that are consistent with the idea you currently hold of hearing a call or having a calling. Having a calling is spoken of in lofty terms. Few outside of those who feel they have a calling for something beyond their ordinary, limited view of themselves use this phrase. But many recognize that they have a calling even unto things the world considers mundane. Welcome. How does a farmer explain that she or he cannot be other than a farmer? That rising and setting with the sun is in their blood, in the very nature of who they are. That being one with the land is essential to them. What bravery it takes in today's world to follow a calling to teach, to set aside other careers that offer far more prestige and economic gain, to instead be a sharer of knowledge, a shaper of minds. What overriding kindness calls one to take care of another's body, to be a healer? How does one explain a joy that is like no other, and that comes from the simple act of caring for a child, preparing a meal, bringing grace and order to a home. This list of different callings could be endless, and each could be considered unexplainable. Those who seek an explanation before following a calling, who look for reasons of a practical nature, who would seek guarantees of the rightness and outcome of following such a call, seek for proof they have already been given. The call itself is proof. It is proof of the heart's ability to be heard, of the heart's ability to recognize the unseen, and to imagine the existence of that which will reveal its true nature and its joy. All of you are capable of hearing the truth of what the heart would tell you. All of you are just as capable of believing in that truth as of doubting it. All that prevents you from believing in truth is a mind and heart acting in separation rather than in union. You think that what prevents you from being who you are is far broader than this simple idea of hearing and following a calling would indicate. You think what prevents you from being who you are is far broader than a division between mind and heart. Some of you would say you feel no calling, or that you feel many. Others would cite practical reasons for doing other than what they feel called to do. All of these ideas illustrate your belief that something other than your own willingness is necessary. Only in your own willingness does anything exist, because only in your willingness is the power of creation expressed. We'll pause here for just a second to let all that sink in. We're now on page 249. Chapter 3, to answer the call. If anyone else would like to read, you're welcome to. Let me know at this point. It's fine. To answer the call. Your life is already an act of creation. It was created, all of it. It exists, fully realized within you. Your work here is to express it. You are far more than your life here. You created your life here in union with the one mind and one heart in union. In other words, with God. Everything you have ever wanted to be is. Everything you have ever thought or imagined is, and is reflected in the world you see. The only difference between the life you are living and the life you want lies in your willingness to express who you are. There would be no need for form if there had been no desire for expression. Life is the desire to express outwardly what exists within. What I refer to so often here as being within, as if within is a place in which something resides, is unity, and it is the place where being resides. It is the place or realm of one heart and one mind. It is a place where everything already exists, fully realized. It is like a trunk full of treasure, like a menu of possibilities. All you must do is wholeheartedly recognize the treasure you have already chosen to bring to the world. Your heart speaks to you of this treasure and guides you to open the trunk and release it to the world, to your world, to the human world. As I have said, in the realm of unity where your being resides, this is already accomplished. Your link between the realm of unity and the realm of physicality is your heart. Your heart tells you of the already accomplished and bids you to express it with your physicality, thus uniting the two realms through expression. Your mind exists in unity. Your heart exists where you think you are, thus providing the means for union between where you think you are and where your being actually resides. Remember always that your heart is where the Christ in you abides, and that the Christ is your identity. Remember that it is the Christ in you that learns and raises learning to the holiest of levels. It is the Christ in you that learns to walk the earth as a child of God, as who you really are. This was stated early in A Course of Love and is returned to now for a specific reason. Well, the truth that it is the Christ in you that learns may have been given little attention as you began your learning. It cannot now be ignored. Now you have realized your learning. You have begun to see the changes that your learning is capable of bringing to your life. You have felt the peace and love of the embrace. You know that you are experiencing something real and learning something that is of relevance even within the daily life you currently move through. Now you must fully recognize the distinction between the ego self that previously was the self of learning and experience, and the Christ self that is now the self of learning and experience. You must take on the mantle of your new identity, your new self. It is this recognition that you are now acting and living in the world as your Christ self, rather than as your ego self, that will aid you in expression. Without expression, the return to unity that has been accomplished will not be realized. If you still balk at the idea that the Christ could be in need of learning, then your idea of the Christ is still based on an old way of thinking, as are your ideas of learning. Learning and accomplishment are not linear as you have perceived them to be. If we return to the idea of talents, this may be easier to explain. If the ability to create beautiful music already exists within you, you do not have to learn what beautiful music is, only how to express it. If you see beauty within, you do not have to learn what beauty is, only how to express it. Expression and creation are not synonymous. Creation is a continuous and ongoing expansion of the same thought of love that brought life into existence. The seeds of creation exist in everything and provide for continuing creation. Thus, the seeds of all that you can express exist within you, in the creation that is you. The power of creation is released through your choice, your willingness to express that aspect of creation. It is quite literally true that the seeds of much of creation lie dormant within you, already accomplished, but awaiting expression in this realm of physicality. In this same way, then, Christ can be seen as the seed of your identity. Christ is the continuous and ongoing expansion of the same thought of love that brought life into existence. Christ is your identity in the broadest sense imaginable. Christ is your identity within the unity that is creation. Just pause for a second so we can let all that sink in again. If anyone has something to share with words, you are welcome. Or sharing with your feeling is also quite welcome. Are you all feeling as we should continue to chapter 4? Or are you full?
I can continue reading if you want me to.
Sure.
Chapter 4, The Call to Who You Are. Creation is not an aspect of this world alone. Creation is an aspect of the whole, the all of all, the Alpha and the Omega, eternity and infinity. It is not only life as you know it now, but life in all its aspects. It is life beyond death, as well as life before birth and life during your time here. It is all one because it is all from the same source. You are not only part of creation, but, as has been said many times, a creator, and as such a continuing act of creation. This does not mean the creation is acted out upon you, but that you are acted out upon creation. The idea of creation as something static will be completely contrary to the meaning of creation. Yet, you continue to think that you stand apart from it and affected it not. This is consistent to the thinking that will tell you that you are at the mercy of fate. Fate and creation are hardly the same thing. You are at the mercy only of your own ego, and only until you willingly let it go. A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love work hand in hand, because the change of thinking thought within A Course in Miracles was a change of thinking about yourself. It attempted to dislodge the ego mind that has provided you with an identity that you but think you are. A Course of Love then followed in order to reveal to you who you truly are. While you continue to act within the world as who you think you are, rather than as who you are, you have not integrated these two pieces of learning. This is the stage of learning that you are at and what this treatise addresses. This treatise is attempting to show you how to live as who you are, how to act within the world as the new self you have identified. Just like learning how to swim, it is a new way of movement, just as moving through water is a way of movement quite inconsistent with that of moving on land. So too is the new way of acting out or expressing who you are quite inconsistent with the way in which you have formerly act out or express who you are. This is, of course, because you formerly acted out of a set of conditions that correspond to who you think you are rather than who you truly are. You will almost literally continue to bump in to who you think you are as you complete the process of unlearning. It might be best explained by continuing with a swimming metaphor. If acting in the world as who you truly are is like swimming, bumping into who you think you are could be likened to trying to move within water as you would on land. Why, when moving freely through the water, would you suddenly try to move as if on land? The explanation could be as simple as forgetting where you are, or as complex as a sudden panic or fear brought on by any number of factors. Either way, the result will always be the same: a sudden change from easy movement to a struggle, from going with the flow to resistance. A first step, then, in learning to recognize when you're acting upon notions of who you think you are, rather than on who you truly are, is the appearance of a struggle or resistance. As a swimmer quickly learns, the only way to return to ease of movement is to cease to struggle or resist. The ability to let go of a struggle is a learned ability for the swimmer, and it's a learned ability for you now as you journey back to your real self. It requires remembrance, trust, and a wholehearted approach that allows the body, mind, and heart to act in unison. This wholehearted approach is the condition from which unity is recognized. The water is not taken for granted, but always recognized as the condition of the swimmer environment. You are no longer confined to the condition of separation. My dear brothers and sisters, and this is what it is time for you to learn. This applies directly to your reaction to all that occurs within your life. Let us look now at your reaction to the idea put forth earlier of having a calling. Despite whatever way you currently have of identifying calling as it relates to you, there are a few among you who have not reacted to the idea of calling with two sets of feelings and thoughts. One set of thoughts and feelings contain all that one might attribute to the glad acceptance of a gift of high value, or in other words, a treasure. One set of thoughts and feelings contain all that one might attribute to the somewhat onerous onset of yet another responsibility, another obligation. One set of thought recognizes that something has been given. The other set recognizes that something has been asked. The wholehearted response is one that recognizes that giving and receiving are the same in truth. While two sets of thoughts and feeling exist, the only way to come to peace with them is through an acceptance of ambiguity. While an acceptance of ambiguity might seem preferable to conflict, an acceptance of ambiguity is a rejection of your power. What is required to claim your power is the willingness to move through the conflict of two opposite sets of thoughts and feelings to the place of unity. Thus, a first step in our work with regard to calling is recognizing the dualistic nature of your thoughts and feelings. A second step is willingness to move past both ambiguity and conflict to union. This requires an examination of your specific notions concerning calling as you apply them to yourself. Whether you feel that you have a specific calling, no calling, or many callings matters not at this juncture. What matters is that you think it does. You think it matters because you compare and judge rather than accept. You who have so recently felt the peace of true acceptance are not asked to leave the peace to go in search of calling, but are rather asked to listen from within the peace to what you feel called to do. This is not about the past and all those things that at one time or another you thought will bring you fulfillment. This is about recognizing who you are now. This is not a quick fix that calls you to what might have been and tells you that if you had that act earlier, you will have had the life you dream of, and maybe it is not too late. This is not about examining where the various calls you responded to previously have led you. All these notions are concerned with who you have thought yourself to be, not with who you are. They do not recognize the difference between thinking and knowing. Being who you are is what you are called to do. You are here asked to live a life as seamless as that of the birds of the air. You are asked to live a life where there is no division between who you are and what you do. This place of no division is the place of unity. Now you may feel as if this treatise has led around in a circle, bringing you back only to contemplate again the acceptance of where you are now. However, to accept where you are is not the same as accepting who you are. Accepting where you are as if it is a static place at which you have arrived is not the goal that has been set. Accepting who you are includes acceptance of creation. The acceptance of creation is the acceptance of change and growth. But neither of these are concepts that you understand truly. Change is not negative, and growth does not imply lack. You must be beginning to see that your thought process, the very thought processes that tell you hour by hour and minute by minute how to perceive of and live in your world, are still often based on old concepts. This does not mean you have not changed, nor that you are in need of accomplishment, rather than the already accomplished. What this means is that you are still in need of unlearning, of undoing all patterns of thought. This is atonement, and it is continuous and ongoing until it's no longer needed. Anything continuous and ongoing is part of creation. Thus, the very act of undoing all patterns is an act of creation. As the old is undone, a vacuum is not created. The new is created. You are in the process of unmaking what you have made. The old structure is coming down so that the new, what might be likened it to a building with no frame, can rise. This process too is union, for it is giving and receiving as one, although you recognize it not as such. It is not a process of waiting until one thing is accomplished for another to begin. What is happening now is happening in unison. As the old goes, the new arrives. There is no time lapse in this learning, and so it is a condition of miracle readiness. The old is replaced by the new simultaneously. This is why you do not have to wait to hear your calling, even though some of you may feel as if you are in time of waiting, for you hear no such call. The call is to be who you are, and this is happening at lightning speed, a speed that cannot be measured because of its simultaneous nature. As was said within a course of law, time is but a measurement of the time it takes for learning to occur. As this notion of time dissolves, the state of miracle readiness becomes your natural state. While this adjustment of your thinking may not seem to be the miracle that it truly is, as your awareness of it grows, it is going to rise to a level you will come to think of as an ability. As your old way of responding to life causes you to struggle or resist, and the new way of thinking replaces the old pattern with a new pattern of response, you will begin to see that each new response is the answer to a call that your heart alone can hear. As I have said, your heart has now become your eyes and ears. Your heart hears only one call, one voice, the language of one source, that of unity. I'm complete.
Thank you.
it is, I have a comment, if I can make a comment.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is very obvious for me at this moment in my journey that between my thoughts is the unity, what I'm looking for. You know, this is my Father and I are one. That is in a space here. And for me, that space is unity, is where my Father and I are one. Because for me, that truth is without thoughts.
Yeah,
So when these thoughts are gone, the only thing remaining is, is love, is the heart of my being. So in every thought show up, bunch of thoughts show up, but I hold myself to the truth and I respond for this place to these thoughts. And the only thing that I had to do is to let the source extend itself to all these thought, image, or whatever. My work is stay in the light, stay in the truth. Thank you. That's my comment.
yeah. Thank you for your beautiful sharing and for your beautiful reading. Thank you. And for your beautiful presence, everyone.
Thank you.
I can make a comment.
Yes.
I have never sat with other people during the reading. Both of your voices were very mesmerizing, very calm. Yeah, it's like I'm in this alpha mind state here now where we're in unity. I can feel the
Yeah.
peace and the calm and the gentleness of the words of our hearts. I thank you both for that
Thank you.
unity.
Thank you. I feel it also. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Well, I thank you, Kimberly, because
Yeah.
when you were reading, I say this lady is letting these words become flesh on herself, on in us. So every word that I was listening to you, I was following you. The moment you say a word, I was catching it with all my being. That I didn't have to go back and ask what this means. The moment you were reading it, I was feeling it and it was being revealed that moment. You know, being present at all times. And that's what I learned about reading with in group, where this space is respect and where we let the source lead the way at all times. It's like the source speaking to the source at all.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yes. Yes. And, for me, thank you for that. For me, that's the awareness in every relationship, you know, and that relationship, even with pet or trees or flowers in the garden, with everything is actually, everything is whispering the name of God,
Yes.
and so being in communion with all of it all the time, and then with the words, and then with between each other, is
Yes.
like that is the unity in the all of life. that, that's what I love.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my experience with everything now. Because now for me, stay in the light, stay in the space. I'm
yeah.
talking to my daughter, or I'm talking to my wife, or am I talking to a customer? I just jump into the middle, into the source, and I let the source use this body to express. It has to be expressed at that moment. And I know that the source is touching the other person too, because they can feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you. I mean, these words has everything.
Yes,
I can feel it. So thank you for this space, Kimberly, and thank you, Bernice, for being here too.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Yes,
Thank you. I think this is a good place to pause. Unless anyone have anything else to share. I feel full right now. I don't know how you're all feeling. Is it
I feel
full?
cool. I
Full?
feel cool.
Yeah, I
So
feel full.
you get together every Monday?
Yes, sir. Every Monday at 8
Okay.
8 Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time. Eastern. Where are you calling in from? Building?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, that's not so far. I'm
Where are
in
you?
Virginia.
Virginia, okay. And
Yeah.
you, Bernice?
I'm on the West Coast, Pacific time.
Okay.
I'm 3 hours behind you. I'm on Vancouver Island in Canada.
Hmm. Well, you see, three thoughts: Virginia, Vancouver, Nashville, Tennessee, being reunited, join in the empty space. Oh my God, I love it. Anyway,
I know.
thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, I hope to see you again. If I
Yeah.
don't show up, it's because life is busy, but I will. I love the gentleness of this. It
Yes.
means a lot to me
I'm
because finding it in the world every day is not as easy for me as finding it here tonight.
Yes.
well. We're here every Monday, and so everyone is welcome. All
Thank
are
Thank
welcome,
you.
and may all be included in what we do here always. So that's the thing. Like we're in three different places, or so it seems. You know, but we are in a union. How I always think it's only ever one of us here. So
yes.
we we can connect to the space at any time. So reconnecting in each other's presence here in our group and even in this space in between the group too can with just a thought can and a breath we can reconnect too. So
No, I
whenever
think
Mhm. Go
I,
ahead.
I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're
When I was
not.
saying I don't find it out in the world, I'm not saying that it's not in here while I'm out in the world.
Oh, no, 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 I wasn't implying that it isn't.
Oh, no, no, no. And but I did want to clarify that because I see a sparkle of an eye. I'll see a person as the soul and not the age or the face.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be in a store and I will be at peace. But
Hmm.
to be able to sit with persons and be able to express, or it doesn't even have to be verbal, to be able to express and feel the unity is what was I'm searching for. I met somebody in the physical yesterday in my community that occurred, and it was a gift. It was a big gift because most people, as you say, feel it coming from you, but they're not aware
Yes.
of what they're feeling or why they're feeling. And that's okay. That's mine. I don't have to worry about that. what I am doing is rejoicing in a resonance here. So
I
thank you.
I mean, I just joined both of you, and I'm like, what do I have to do? Just follow them. Follow them. Stay in that space. Because both of you were holding that space, that peace. I'm like, right, let's see what's going to happen. And
Let's
just,
take this out into the world. Let's just see
yeah.
our bubble growing and encompassing the world right now. If I may just add to that, like God is limitless. So thank you, God, for this bubble of peace
Yeah. Thank you.
around the world.
We'll
That
see you.
is a true nature.
Thank you.
And Kimberly, thank you very much for hosting.
Yes.
Yes, thank you both for your presence.
Bye.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah. So I will leave. I have another place to go to.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.